What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel. Today's video, I'm going to be going back to the Chicago Bears in a mock draft. I know that I completed my 7-round team mock drafts for the 2024 NFL season, but at the same time, every year I feel like I do at least one or two teams over again because of certain circumstances or things that happened. And if we take a look here, I do have the Bears mock draft that I did earlier this year. This was about 2 months ago. I did it probably a little bit later on. 10,000 views. Thank you very much, Bears fans. So if you could see right here on this screen, we went a different route here. The Bears obviously had a decent amount more picks. We took Marvin Harrison Jr. at 3. We traded down from number 1. We took Marvin Harrison Jr., Laiatu Latu, Jackson Powers Johnson, Chris Jenkins, Cade Stover, Jaden Hicks, Dwight McGlothern, Ladarius Henderson, and DeCorian Clark. And then we also acquired a first and a second rounder from next year. Now with the different circumstances, with Justin Fields being traded and the Chicago Bears having some of the funniest draft capital I've ever seen, the Bears, if I can do it correctly off the top of my head, have the most and the least amount of draft capital ever. It's so funny because they have 2 top 10 picks, the number 1 overall pick, but after the top 10, all they have is, I think, 75 and 122. Great picks, honestly, if you had a full slate of draft capital, but they don't. So I believe that the Chicago Bears are going to be trading down from number 9 because Ryan Poles doesn't seem like he'll be content with just 4 picks and just 3 inside the top 100. So I'm going to take a second crack at this mock draft, especially since I didn't draft Caleb Williams in the last one. So obviously, spoiler alert, unless you live under a rock, Caleb Williams will be the first overall pick. Probably not just in this mock draft, just overall in the actual draft. So let's get into this 7-round mock draft 2.0. Yeah, so pretty straightforward here at number 1-1, first round, number 1 overall. We got some really nice trade offers here. We'll run through them just because we're going to reject all of them because it wouldn't really make much sense to get one at this point to trade down, in my opinion. 11-23, that's a really great offer. So, I mean, some incredible offers. Like, imagine I honestly would do that, but I'm too scared that the number 1 overall pick that the Commanders use is going to be Caleb Williams, so I won't do that. I don't think that that's realistic either. Moving up 1 spot for 2 seconds, a third, and 2 first-round picks essentially seems a little crazy to me to move up 1 spot. Yeah, this one too. This one, yeah. So these are all great for the most part, but we're not going to be trading down. I was just curious as to what they look like. Number 1 is going to be Caleb Williams. I mean, I would be floored. Like, I would be flabbergasted if the number 1 overall pick was either Drake May or JJ McCarthy or Jaden Daniels. I'd be floored. I think the NFL draft community would turn absolutely on the top of their head if that was the case. But I do not think that that is the case. Caleb Williams, to me, is still clearly the most talented, the best overall quarterback we've seen in quite some time. Some people call him generational. I will not go that far as to say that, but I think that he will be a Pro Bowl, maybe all pro level talent at some point in his career. I think he's going to do wonders for this organization. They seem to be building around him quite nicely. So Caleb Williams is going to be the pick here at number 1. All right, so we're sitting here at number 9, and this is kind of perfect. I love the way that this board has fallen after us. Drake May, Jaden Daniels, Olu Fashanu doesn't really seem likely at number 4, but okay, Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah, basically a lot of these guys, I'd say 7 out of the 8 guys that are off the board are probably going to be drafted in that realm. At number 9, JJ McCarthy, Brock Bowers, Dallas Turner, these guys are still on the board. Really, at this point, the Chicago Bears have assembled quite a nice roster so far. I'm looking to upgrade the interior of the offensive line. I know they traded for Ryan Bates. They signed Coleman Shelton. I'm not in love with those options. Bates is fine. Coleman Shelton's a solid backup at this point. I'd like to upgrade the center position. Wide receiver, even though we have DJ Moore, we have Keenan Allen now for 1 year, presumably. That's really, really nice, but I'd love to get a long-term option there. Now that we do have Caleb Williams and edge as well. Besides for Montez Sweat, looking really barren on that side. Would like to upgrade the interior of the defensive line as well. Maybe get another safety, maybe get another corner. I know that Ryan Poles likes to invest pretty heavily in the cornerback situation. But at 9 here, really, I'd only consider, to be quite honest with you, I'd only consider taking Turner here at number 9. So I'm pretty okay with trading down, considering that all the top edge rushers are still on the board. Got a really nice trade offer here, not trading with Detroit. That's too crazy in my opinion. This was pretty intriguing, but then I saw that we'd have to give up pick 122. Not a fan of that. And this one was the one that I really like here. So we're only moving down 4 spots, which means that we could still acquire one of those edge rushers, and we get number 44 overall as well. So there's a player that I have in mind there. I really don't want to go too offensive heavy here, but if we can get pick 1, 13, and 44 all offense, I think we'd really be set. So I'm going to counter. I'd like to see if I can get a late round pick as well. This is probably not going to go through. This trade engine is so finicky, but okay, it does go through. So that's really nice that we get a back end option there. So now we're sitting here at number 13. I'd love to trade back again, but we've seen teams double dip and trade back twice in the first round before, but that's not really something I'm about. I would love to acquire another second round pick, but I'm just trying to be realistic at this point. This is not realistic to me. I just realized I thought that the Raiders would want to move up to 9 to get J.J. McCarthy. They moved up to get Brock Bowers after selecting Michael Mayer last year. A little curious there. And we saved our in-division rivals giving up draft capital to get J.J. McCarthy. He fell there anyway. And this is absolutely amazing. Okay, so I was really considering taking a wide receiver at 13. I might still. It depends on who's on the board here. There's a couple guys that I'm really interested in. Love Brian Thomas Jr. Don't know, with guys on the board like Dallas Turner, don't know if I'd be willing to take him here. I feel like 13 might just be still a little early for Brian Thomas Jr. But then again, I feel like wide receiver is such an importance here. But if you look at the depth chart behind Montez Sweat, it's really barren. And I'm not going to lie, I don't really expect Dallas Turner to be here at number 13 in real life. I'd be pretty surprised. Of course, it's not impossible. You know, with the way that trade ups and trade downs go, some guys just fall because of, they're not highly valued on some team's board. That's just the way that it goes. But yeah, if he's here at number 13 and we already acquired a second round pick, I'm pretty comfortable in taking Dallas Turner. So that's what I'm going to do here at number 13. We're going to take an edge rusher and pair Dallas Turner, who could be the best edge rusher in the entire draft class. We're going to pair him with Montez Sweat up front. This is what I wanted to see here at 4. Oh, by the way, I did trade back one more spot. The New Orleans Saints offered us pick number 239 to move back one spot to move up. So I did that as well, just trying to acquire a little bit more draft capital here in this draft class. So at 45, you take a look at the wide receivers that are on the board here. Malachi Corley, Jalen Polk, Xavier Legette, Roman Wilson. These are guys that I'm seriously considering here at number 45. Just a quick peek over towards the center class here. A couple guys that I can consider. Don't think Mason McCormick is going to be a center at the NFL level. That's interesting that they moved him over to center. Didn't really hear anything about that, but be that as it may, I'm not really considered with the defensive side of the ball right now. I just want to see where Zach Frazier went. Okay. So Zach Frazier went 6 spots ahead of us, so I don't feel as bad about that for the most part. That was who I was targeting with this number 45 now overall pick. Now that he's gone, I'm going to shift my focus back over to wide receiver. Some amazing options here. Malachi Corley is the one that speaks out to me the most here, and I'll tell you why. Look at this athletic profile here, 5'11", 215. Not only that, the one knock against him was going to be, what is he going to run? What is his pro day speed going to look like? And at 4.47 on his pro day, that really convinced me that this guy could honestly be a first round talent. I would not be surprised at all if at number 31 or 32, sorry, at number 30, that's not right. Okay, I guess they must have traded down one spot or whatever it may be. But either way, I wouldn't be surprised if the 49ers or the Kansas City Chiefs, someone like that, got Malachi Corley. This guy is just so dynamic. I've said for months now that Malachi Corley is the closest thing that we have in this draft class to Deebo Samuel. I think that he is a phenomenal player. He's a yards after the catch god. Xavier Legette is the only thing that's stopping me from making this pick right now. Legette, 6'1", 221 in his own right, incredibly fast. Would that be a better fit? For the short term, I feel like Xavier Legette would be a better fit. But for the long term, I feel like Malachi Corley would be. But Leggett just offers so much. I'm talking myself out of taking Malachi Corley as we speak right now. I do think Leggett is worth this pick. I'd be pretty surprised if he gets past the first round, but a lot of people don't think that he's as good as advertised. I think that's kind of crazy. He has so many amazing elite traits. Let's take a look at his RAS. Yeah, I was going to say 989 as well. He's explosive. Yards after the catch threat as well. Led the FBS in 30-plus yard catches. Didn't even know that that was a stat yet. We're going to take Xavier Leggett here. I'm sorry I'm battling myself back and forth here, but we're going to take Xavier Leggett at 45. At number 75, I'm going to take Beaux Limmer here out of Arkansas. This is a player that is pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys have looked at his tape or anything. I just recently did an NFL Draft Gems short on him, but I've been a fan of Beaux Limmers for quite some time now, steadily rising up my board. Don't let this big board number fool you here. I would not be surprised at all if he is a top 75 pick or a top 100 pick at the very worst here. Someone who is relatively, I wouldn't say new to the center position. He started the entire last season at the center position and was incredible. His other 3 years of experience starting were all at right guard, so he has that interior offensive line versatility that I am looking for the Chicago Bears. But I just think that if he's drafted here at 75, he has a real chance to become that starting center for the next 10 plus years. He's that good. He really is. He is an incredible enforcer. He's a nasty block finisher in the run game. Pass blocking, he's incredibly strong. I don't know, you guys are probably going to say, oh, well, he got pancaked by T'Vondre Sweat in the Senior Bowl. Yes, that was 1 rep, but to be fair, the rep right before that, if you watch, he absolutely stonewalled T'Vondre Sweat, someone that is 364 pounds and incredibly strong in his own right. Those guys are going to battle back and forth like that all the time. But Beaux Limmer is someone that's incredibly strong, incredibly athletic. I believe he had a 983 RAS. I know that that could be misleading, but I just 983 RAS, 6'4", 302, has really nice length as well. I think this would be a really, really nice pick. Maybe more of a luxury pick at this point because people are going to argue they gave up draft capital for Ryan Bates. I get that. They signed Coleman Shelton, so they might roll with what they got at center. I get it. Personally, me, if I'm going to do all this in the offseason and I'm going to spend the number 1 overall pick, I'm not going to trade the number 1 overall pick, and I'm going to get Caleb Williams, I'm going to surround him with players that I think are better. And personally, might sound crazy to take a rookie who has never played a snap in the NFL over players that are on an actual team, but I think I would take Beaux Limmer over Shelton and Bates. That's just me. So Limmer's going to be the pick at number 75. All right, so we're sitting here at 122, and I really wanted to add to the secondary here. I wasn't in love. We'll take a look at the defensive tackle class that's still left, or the defensive tackle board, rather, that's still here. I love Dwayne Carter here. Don't think he'll be here at number 122, though. Some of these other guys I'm not totally in love with at 122. Gabe Hall is someone that I'd give some serious consideration to, but I'm looking for more of a rotational guy. I don't think I would take Gabe Hall is someone that's extremely explosive but developmental. Don't really think we need someone more pro-ready, in my opinion, that's ready to go straight into a rotation and perform. Don't know if Gabe Hall could really do that, especially at 122. Not really looking for it there. Christian Boyd is someone I really like. Maybe if we had a pick in between 122 and 208. Then I was looking at safety. Really the only guy I'm considering here, and we don't really need a safety, the Chicago Bears. Kitten Oladapo, maybe with number 208 or 239, someone later on, but Oladapo is someone that I think would be a really nice addition to the secondary long term, but they really don't need anyone. They got some great depth there. Jonathan Owens, Elijah Hicks, they signed Kevin Byard, they have Jaquan Brisker, so they don't really need, I think they're pretty good right there. We're not going to waste, I shouldn't say waste, we're not going to use a top 122 pick on another safety. But corner is really interesting. There are some guys here, don't mind these 3 guys. Don't think any of these guys will be here at 122, especially these 2. Maybe Andrew Phillips might slide, but he's more of a nickel. We have Kyler Gordon at the nickel, I want to say right now. Jerry Jones is someone I think is a really nice backup on the boundary there because you have Tyreek Stevenson, you have Jalen Johnson. Behind them, it's a little thin on the boundary, so I'd like to add another corner in case one of those guys goes down. Get him in the rotation. Jerry Jones, 5'11", 190, 4.38 speed. He has some incredible recovery speed as well, someone that could really match up on the boundary. So that's what I'm going to take here at 122. I know I'm looking at some of these other picks here. I don't really think a running back would be in order, to be quite honest with you. Malik Washington would be nice as well. Don't think he'll be on the board at this point either. just quarterbacks for shits and giggles. Joe Milton, yeah. So we're gonna stay away from that. Tackle, I wasn't too fond of anything. There wasn't really anything spectacular here on the board that we need. I think we're okay for the most part right now with that. So we're gonna go back to the corner. We're gonna take Jarrian Jones out of Florida State. All right. Well, we just talked about Christian Boyd and how I thought that he was going to be a fantastic pick maybe later on. Didn't think that he was going to be there that late. Well, he's still here at 208. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull the trigger on that. Boyd is someone who's had quite a bit of top 30 meetings with some teams, even in the NFC North, too. I believe he had a top 30 meeting with the Detroit Lions scheduled. So that's something to look at as well. But Boyd is a really good player from an FCS school, Northern Iowa, someone who gets consistent pressure on the interior. This is someone who I think is more pro ready, and I love the value at 208 for someone like him. Let's take a look at his measurables real quick. I don't remember them off the top of my head. 6'2", 320. Love that. Put him in a rotation with Andrew Billing, Zach Pickens, Gervon Dexter, guys like that. I think you're really set, really deep at that defensive tackle spot. So we're going to take Christian Boyd here at 208. And I was hoping my man would be here at number 239. We're going to take Frank Crum out of Wyoming. This guy, Goldilocks, fantastic athlete. I did an NFL Draft Gem short on him, I believe it was last week. And not only does he have one of the best names in the entire draft class, extremely athletic as well, has incredible experience at both left and right tackle. I believe it's split pretty much in half. 2 years in total at right tackle, 2 years in total at left tackle. So someone that comes with a lot of experience, someone that I think could be a really nice developmental tackle and right away has swing tackle appeal. So at 239, if you're getting someone with swing tackle appeal, I think you're pretty much set. So we're going to take Frank Crum here with our last pick at 239. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There is my full 7-round 2024 Chicago Bears mock draft 2.0 this time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Quickly to recap, Caleb Williams, number 1 overall, not surprising anyone. We traded down from number 9 to 13, and we got Dallas Turner at 13. Then we traded down from 44 to 45. We acquired a late round pick. We got Xavier Legette at number 45. Bo Limmer is our new starting center at number 75. Jarrian Jones offers some incredible depth to the boundary corner position at 122. 208, we got an absolute steal in Christian Boyd out of Northern Iowa. And then at 239, we took one of my favorite players in the entire draft class, Frank Crum, swing tackle out of Wyoming. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please leave a like. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.